welcome to the first Highgrounders podcast with scuffed logo and
Hello.
terrible layout. Uh, I guess we're the hosts. We're the hosts of this fine
Yep.
podcast. It's
Real
me,
fine.
above high ground. That's my name. Don't wear it out.
Yeah.
And there's Ambright, but I'm assuming we're doing first names, right? I think that's more natural
Yeah.
and yeah. So
That's fair.
so I'm Daniel, and that's who's that over there?
Eli. You just go by Eli.
Okay, so those are. I mean, you guys wouldn't get confused anyway because there's one of each of us, or two people. That's the better way to say it. So it wouldn't matter anyway. Anyways, so before we get into the video we're gonna cover today and just look over and kind of analyze, we're gonna, I guess, talk about the TV show that the video's talking about. So Eli, how did you feel about Ahsoka, the series? What would you give it out of 10? Just sort of some thoughts about that show.
Ahsoka. Man, that was a Star Wars show by the producers and people from Disney, and I it had its moments. There were certainly some good ideas in there. I like Ahsoka as a character for the most part. She's not necessarily like the best part of all Star Wars, as some people seem to make her out to be. Um, she she's pretty cool. Getting her own show is definitely a neat idea, and where it takes place is fine. The time period in the Star Wars history is cool. Um, Show I would give. I'm kind of looking up what I've already given it on some previous apps to see, because I don't want to be inconsistent. Gotta keep consistency with that. But I think I remember giving it like a 5 maybe. Like I don't dislike the show that much, but I don't love the show. It's not
That's fair,
phenomenal.
yeah.
I it's it's pretty rough in a lot of areas, and I mean, like, yeah. But what do you think
Yeah.
about it?
Well, okay, so I
Yeah.
think you're way nicer to it than I would be, but I share similar you were talking about how like you like Ahsoka as a character, and from what I remember of the Clone Wars, it's obviously been quite a while since I've seen it. I remember liking her
Yes. Yeah.
character and appreciating the show in general and what it does with her. So seeing her get her own live action show, that's like, ooh, that's exciting. And then the actual product, uh, less so satisfying. I think the reason you said a 5 out of 10, right? I think the reason you went like higher than I think I would go with like a 2 or a 3. I think the reason you went higher is because you thought the first couple of episodes were okay, and then we
Yeah.
both generally agreed on the finale, like the last 2 episodes being just terrible, right? Like I think we were in agreement
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. I think we were in agreement there with that. I actually just looked up my review of it, and I was not as much of a fan apparently when I watched it. I guess
Oh.
we'll have to definitely look back over this because I must have disliked it a lot more when I was watching it, and that's interesting too because um, shows like that, I guess they tend to either get worse or better as you move on from them in your minds. But
Sure, yeah.
yeah, there's definitely some issues that I guess we'll get into here. But um, you know, I had some ideas. Um,
Did have some ideas. Yeah, you're telling me you weren't just absolutely ecstatic when Thrawn showed up? Grand Admiral Thrawn, you
oh
know him.
man, there. Well, see, so I read an Ahsoka book.
Oh.
This Ahsoka like Star Wars like legacy book or something. And it was interesting. Um, and there was no Thrawn. It was very basic, but it was good. And yeah, no, it was good. Maybe that could have been incorporated that book somehow. But anyways, no. Back to the real topic, Thrawn. Um, he was fine. The more I think about it, the more my opinion is going to get worse of this show. Like, let's be honest, there were some rough spots. His dialogue was rough. I think a lot of people, like, you could definitely tell in the community when you saw some people talking about it. His dialogue was kind of rough. I think the actor was good, but the
he
direction
was he was
and
trying.
the
I think it's the
yes,
writing. Like his character's just like, oh, I know everything. I talk like this, all according to my plan. I'm blue. Like that's his whole character, but like in actuality, he's an idiot. Like every decision he makes is just you're just like what? Why? And it's not the good
Yeah,
kind of why is he doing this? Oh, there's gonna be a like some sort of thing we don't understand yet, or some piece of the puzzle that we're not privy to. But at the end of the series, it's just like, oh, he won because the show said he did. It was in the script. Okay, cool. Like I don't
yeah,
understand that this clown made it, but he did. Awesome.
yeah. I don't really remember a point in the show where he actually made like a victory or a successful decision.
Well,
You know,
okay.
he was kind of just countering like their moves, and it just felt very stagnant in his like his opinions.
Well, I was gonna. Oh goodness, my brain just reset. Sorry, excuse me. Let me fix that. The series where the scene where they're bombarding like Ahsoka and they're like riding.
That's exactly
I
what my
my
mind went
brain.
to.
Sorry. I don't even remember the show. It's like barely. It's like back in my head. But yeah, the bombardment's happening and they like somehow live. Like they all should have. That should have been like a okay play from him, right? Like, oh, these idiots are just like riding these weird dogs up to me. Cool, I'll just kill them. Like he should have won there, right? So I guess you wouldn't even say it's really a smart decision. It's like, oh, that's he was using his brain there. Cool. Like his brain was working. He wanted to kill them. Gotcha. All right. Oh, what? They lived? Huh?
It lived
How?
somehow,
How? Somehow. Yeah.
somehow.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
It's a key
Exactly.
theme in Star Wars apparently, where people just continue to live after
Yeah.
being continuously. Oh, speaking of continuing to live, Sabine. Can we talk about Sabine for a second?
Oh
Can we
no.
talk about Sabine?
Do we
Um,
have to?
oh man, yeah, no, we do, because that's okay. The more I think about it, the more I remember this show. And I did actually look at my review. I gave it a 2 out of 10
Oh,
originally.
dude. Okay.
So yeah, the more
Uh,
we talk about this, the more my opinion is probably gonna actually go down. And
oh
I think
no.
that's probably like that's probably how a lot of Star Wars fans would feel. You know, they kind of remember like Ahsoka being good, and like we like the character, but there's just a lot of issues when you start to really talk about things and take it seriously. You know.
I,
Um.
I'm
But
trying to think
anyways,
of an example where that happened to me, where I rewatched something and I was like, oh my goodness, this is so much worse than I thought. Uh, and the only example that's going to my head right now is Man of Steel, but I don't want to touch on that too
wait a
much.
minute, hold on. Whoa, whoa, whoa,
We're
whoa,
not,
whoa, whoa.
we're gonna ignore that. I didn't say that. I didn't trash in your favorite movie, but yeah, there definitely are things that you'll watch and you watch again and you're like, wow, this is much worse than I remember. And I only watched Rebels once, but I think that was happening the whole show. I was like, wow, this is just terrible. And my opinion kept going down on that. Plus, it got worse as I think it got worse as the show went. Oh, which by the way, you haven't seen Rebels, have you?
I have not seen Rebels, and so
Oh
that
no,
impacts
you
my
don't have
opinion of
the.
Ahsoka. And that's one of the crutches of Ahsoka. Real quick, let's just mention that. Like that's one of the crutches of Ahsoka. If you don't know the characters, you have no background attachment
Well, no,
to like
Eli, you fool. Dave
most of
Filoni
them.
said you didn't have to watch Rebels to watch Ahsoka. The new viewers would be
Oh
fine
yeah,
and
yeah,
understand
yeah.
everything. Now, some might say just because he said that doesn't
No.
mean to mean it's true, and also it's not. There's so much. There's the thing. There's so much in the show that like contradicts Rebels. Like, I don't believe what Ezra did at the end of Rebel. Do you even what his sacrifice, right? He makes at the end of Rebels.
Yeah,
I don't believe
I
that the
learned that. I learned it.
I
Yeah.
don't believe the other characters would be so willing to like, all right, let's go freaking pick him up. We got this with like no backup at all, you know. And oops, we let Thrawn out. Oops, I don't believe Ezra would just be like, it's okay, like it's chill. I don't like he wouldn't, man. He'd be if he was in character, he'd be like furious. Like he's in his mind, he's been like content with sacrificing himself for the greater good of the galaxy for like years. But nah,
Yeah.
I got saved. Cool. Thanks, Sabine. Nah, we're cool. It's fine. It's all right. Like I just don't
Yeah.
I don't buy that at all.
Ezra. Again, I
I
guess I
like
just
the
have not
actor
watched
playing Ezra.
Rebels.
I like the actor
He is
playing Ezra.
good.
He's one of the only.
Kind of reminds me of like Moses or something from the Bible.
He looks like he's having fun. Like I appreciate that. Like he
Yeah.
doesn't look like he hates his. Well, every other character is so bland and emotionless that when he looks like he's like enjoying his time on
Wait, wait,
set.
wait, wait.
Oh,
I guess we can talk about like other characters, but what's the Balin? Balin's kind of a neat character, and I don't know if you would agree that maybe his character has a lot more depth,
I
or
I don't think he
the actor gives him a
does.
lot more.
Okay, the actor, yeah, no, so it's Ray Stevenson. He recipes. He did a really good job
Yeah,
at like. There's a lot of mystique and like ooh, like intrigue. Like whenever he's on screen, I'm like, ooh, I want more. I wanna know more about this character. He seems pretty awesome. But like in totality, the whole show, we don't really learn much about him. He has like 3 lines that relate to anything regarding his past, and like the rest of the character, they're really vague and like there's not a lot of depth to them, which is fine. But if we actually we didn't really get anything. Like you can have lines that are like mysterious and like, ooh, I wonder where this is gonna go. But if you don't follow up, then like by the end of the show, I'm like, I don't know who Balin is. I'm intrigued by him, like, but I don't like. He's not really a character I
Yeah.
like. Or I like
No,
him, but he's not
I would
somebody
agree with that.
I understand completely.
And that's where we're looking to Ahsoka season 2. But real quick, I just want to say like we're going through characters, and then I mentioned Sabine, and like we're like,
Nah, we glossed over
yeah,
that one.
we're
We're
not
not
gonna
doing
we're
that.
not gonna keep. There's I think a lot of people understand already that she was had a rough time in that show.
Okay, so I'm just
Like
gonna say something. I don't know
getting
if you know, because
stabbed. And,
she did get stabbed. We can say
yeah.
something real quick. I don't know if you have the full context, 'cause I don't think you watched Rebels, but
No.
so in Rebels, like as a teenager, I don't remember how old, probably like 14 or something, she like made a device that could pierce through Beskar armor as like a
What?
child. Yeah, yeah, okay, so she did that. They'll just take that. That's so she does that, right? She's also like a
Yeah.
brilliant like she's really good with the blaster, right? She's really good with that. She has the force now, and it's pretty friggin' impressive force push in the finale, right? So that was pretty cool. She's good with a lightsaber now, I guess. And what is she a good pilot? I don't remember enough Rebels to. Does she fly the Ahsoka ship or does Ahsoka fly it? I legit don't remember. I think Ahsoka flies it. So maybe she's not a good
She
pilot, but like, and she's also a Mandalorian, and she's like, she has so much, like, what's her weakness?
backgrounds. Yeah.
Like,
There's
what is
there's a
her
lot to her.
character? Her character flaw is that she doesn't care about the state of the galaxy and wants to save her friend to sacrifice himself specifically so that the galaxy can be saved. That's her flaw, I guess. Which it's just is like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I,
There's no trait. She's like, there's nothing she's weak at. You could argue the Force, but she what? Because it is an 8 episode
I
show.
wouldn't even say that. She has the Force now in the
Well,
Ahsoka
yeah,
show. So
well, some people
coming
would
from the
say,
perspective of not watching Rebels, she's like now this Force wielding character, and you don't really understand where that came from. You just kind of know that she started to gain these
well,
abilities,
obviously Dave
and
Filoni's
you don't
point,
see any training.
his point of the show. Well, no, you're lying. You're misrepresenting the show, Eli. You see,
Yes, there was some
she's like
training. There
sits
was a
down at
few.
a table and there's like a cup, and Ahsoka's like moves the heckin' cup and starts small or something. I don't. That might not even be what the words they use, but I don't want to bother like trying to recollect what it was. So she did that, and then she was told that she should do it, and then she did it. And it's just like,
That's true. I guess there was a few training scenes, but it's nothing like Dagobah or anything that we've
oh,
seen in the
I
past
was,
where
I'm not.
Padawans like actually have to train.
I do think it's. I was just saying like that's what defenders of the show would probably say that, and I would probably respond with like their idea. Dave Filoni's whole idea with doing that is that anybody can have the Force, right? If you work hard enough, and I don't know. I just don't know how to feel with that. If anybody can do it, then why doesn't everyone? Because what Sabine does isn't
Yeah,
very hard.
it's
Like she
true.
doesn't go through a lot to like unlock the Force, right? Like with Luke, like obviously Dagobah, right? And it helps that he doesn't exactly beat Vader on in like Cloud City, right? Like
Yeah,
he
and
doesn't exactly win.
you can see him like doing different scenes. He's like sweating, he's like exercising, he's like meditating with Yoda, and he's with a Grand Master, like a Master of the Republic, or used to be Republic. And I just think that shows so much more. Plus, John Williams is excellent on the score there. You know,
True,
gotta
true.
compliment John.
Yeah, good old
Um,
John.
he's great. And you just, I guess Ahsoka to Sabine is a good relationship, and you could argue Ahsoka was also a um influence in the past as being a Jedi. She just their relationship isn't as cohesive as Yoda's and Luke's, and they kind of build on that in Ahsoka, and it doesn't really. I guess that's a plot point where it's like there's a lot of conflict there, and then they have to resolve it. But they're really, it's not a very satisfying
Well,
resolve in my opinion.
it's not satisfying because the whole
Very,
setup to their conflict is, oh yeah, I was your master for a while and like you kind of sucked, so I like left. And it's like we didn't
yeah,
see any of
that
that, so
that's
it's just like
basically it.
it's established as what happened, and they have to get back together, and oh, look, they're master and apprentice again. And by the time that happens, I'm just like, I don't understand why these characters weren't to that anymore. Like it doesn't work. Like I there's no like establishing for the payoff. I'm just left like with nothing. Like okay, cool, that happened now. That's the Ahsoka show. It's oh this is happening now. That's neat. All right. Oh hey look it's Anakin. How is he here? What? Who is this even Anakin? I don't know. Look it's Anakin. He said live or die. Like that. That's the whole show to me. I just yeah.
Oh,
It's not Andor. Let's say that much. It's not Andor.
it isn't Andor, but I like Hayden Christensen being back.
Oh for
I
sure.
like that the fandom is very excited about him. Um, and I did like the Clone Wars scenes, and I was very happy to see other people happy, but that doesn't exclude, like you were saying, the interesting writing, like the very lackluster message or the content there. You know, when you watch a movie, you want to learn stuff or you want to be entertained, and um, I I do like that scene, though it is, and you pointed out this, Daniel, that it is uh, not exactly the most influential uh, teachings, like you must live to die or whatever
No,
he
no, no.
says.
It's live or die.
Yeah.
That's
Uh,
it. It's a very
so
confusing message. Yeah.
it's very confusing. I liked seeing Anakin, and the Clone Wars stuff was cool. I will address like the idea that, um, the clones look pretty good. I know people didn't like that
Really?
in some cases, but yeah, there was actually some debate, like why are the clones look so weird? But these were real clones,
Oh,
and
'cause it's
props to them for
practical
doing
effects.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Really? I
I
had
like
not
that
heard that.
actually.
That's weird.
That was a small thing that people were like, why do they look so weird, or why are they like not looking around or not looking that real? It was just all practical,
That's
and I think that was pretty
strange.
cool. So
I think they
it
look
was a
better.
weird little detail that people argued about, but I know people were really excited about that, and that was pretty cool to see. Overall, I liked that scene. I know it was very lackluster in message, and and if I was probably doing it, I would agree with you that there could have been a better message.
Well, I'll
Like
kind of building up upon your point, or I say building upon, just bouncing off of it. You're saying like you like the scene, but you recognize it has issues. I actually like the scene as well. I like a lot of the stuff in there, because my fanboy brain is like, ooh, I know these things. I know this place. I know these characters. Like when I see Anakin with the red lightsaber, my monkey brain goes, oh yeah, Anakin, woo, friggin' Vader, yeah. Like that's what my brain does. But I gotta
very
like
good cinematography, yeah, with the whole scene where he like walks through the smoke and it like transitions
it
to
is a
Vader
pretty neat
slash.
shot. I that there's like controversy over that shot being like derivative of other things. People saying like, "Oh, it's not that good," but like I think it looks pretty good. It's pretty, it's cool, right?
Yeah,
I don't. There's like no substance at all, but I like come on, it's cool. Like,
yeah.
but I'm not at like any point gonna argue for the quality of that scene. Like I think it is shaky, like at best. I don't think it's just not. It's more nothing. It's like the whole show. It's just I see Anakin say "live or die" a few times, and Ahsoka being like, "This is the Clone Wars," and then like and the lessons she's supposed to learn in this episode, like she's like, oh man, the clones, oh war's bad. It's like didn't we do this in Clone Wars? Oh, but oh shoot, I forgot. If you didn't watch the show, you're fine to watch Ahsoka. So the same character canonically can go through the same lessons. It's fine, guys. Like, it's just it's frustrating to say the least. But
Yeah.
yeah, I like seeing Hayden Christensen back, and I
Yeah,
think
and
that
especially since she's a master, that's a good point. She's a master right now. She's supposed to know what to do, and she does, I guess, stay on par with Anakin in their swordsmanship. So you can tell that uh, they both have the
allegedly
skills.
Hayden Christensen looks. I will say that scene, Hayden Christensen looks like really good, like swinging his lightsaber around. Like he's definitely still got the choreography down. And then whenever he has to connect blades with her, he slows down. Like you can see it. It's funny. The choreography is
Yeah.
less than impressive. I think some of his choreography in that scene, and then we'll get into the finale sort of when we actually start the video. This has turned into a full review of the show. But what? Oh, I forgot her name. Uh,
And
the lady
just a
with the
disclaimer,
katana.
like,
Who's that
oh,
lady?
I was gonna add a disclaimer to all our
Oh, go for
advice
it. Go
or
for
our
it. Go for it.
opinions. Yeah, yeah. We haven't watched the show in a while, so if we make any inaccurate statements, um, it's because we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna watch a video reviewing like an IGN video reviewing one of the episodes, just to because this video did catch some attention, and we're just trying to do our best. These are like our opinions, formed off of like a couple weeks of having watched the show, but Yeah, I think they're pretty accurate still, and maybe it even gives more depth because you want a show to be memorable. You want scenes to actually make sense, and with the Anakin scene, like we were just talking about, you want to be excited for it. You have to remember it was cool, but you also have to remember like why did I enjoy that? Why was it? What did I learn from that? You know?
Like I was gonna say no. Actually, all of our opinions are fact, and you're wrong if you disagree. But like what you said about these things being cool, but also being impactful, and like us remembering them would be nice. Like I haven't seen Return
Yes.
of the Jedi in forever, right? But I got the music in my head. I like the scene of Vader fighting Luke on the Death Star, like that. That's just iconic. And there's so much going on there in terms of character with Luke and his father, and like the whole conversation they had before they got on the friggin' before they get on the Death Star. They're either still in Endor or before they get in. I don't remember. It's like I said, it's been a minute since I've seen Return of the Jedi, but there's so much characterization there that works, and it's like in line with their characters. It's not just like live or die, and you're like, what? What happened?
Yeah.
What's going on? And like, imagine. I don't think there's probably anybody who. Ahsoka's probably nobody's first Star Wars, right? That wouldn't make any sense.
That would
There's
be
got to be
really
somebody.
awkward.
But imagine watching that and you get this strange man with the de-aged face saying "live or die." Like, who's this? Who's this guy?
Yeah,
Like, I feel
that would
like,
be a bit strange.
like not saying that's a hard one because anybody who's watching these has probably seen the original trilogy, right? At least, if not the prequels as well. So it's kind of hard to be like this show should work for all these first-time viewers. But
Yeah.
there's definitely some elements there where it's just like if you were somebody watching this show and nothing else, I don't think any of this works for you. I think you're just confused. Like it's just remember this the scene. But yeah, that's
You know, I guess that's the hard thing too because the way they put it or in the timeline they put it, um, it's just it's difficult to say it's for new viewers as because it's consistently it's in line with like Mandalorian and it's in line with a bunch of other new Disney um Star Wars things they've done, you know? So it it would be really helpful. And I guess now all of a sudden they're like, wait, people like the prequels, so we're gonna add prequel stuff now. Or like people actually like really like the Clone Wars, so we're gonna start adding that stuff now.
yeah,
Which
that's what
I
that
wish they would
scene
have done with
is.
the
Well, no,
sequels. But
I don't want to interrupt you. The scene in The Force Awakens, the very opening, this will begin to make things right. Like J.J. Abrams has talked about how that's we're setting things right from the prequels, right? And how like the entirety of The Force Awakens is very OT, like nostalgia heavy. There's like no prequel stuff, which is like I if there's nothing from the prequel era that like pertains to that time period, and like there's no reason to in the story. Like I'm fine with no prequel references. That's okay with me. But it's just funny the absolute apathy for the prequels like starting off the sequel trilogy slash like these shows and everything to now we're like, oh, remember the prequels, guys? Like Rise of
yeah,
Skywalker in the trailer. There's a battle droid in the
yeah.
background, like all the all that stuff. I just find that funny. And now it's just like, oh god, those made money. Okay, we're not making money. Let's use some of that. Like let's use some of that in there. I just find that humorous.
It does make the sequels make the prequels look very good now. That's the one thing about it now. But anyways, we should probably get back to Ahsoka.
We should probably start the video. It's been it's been like 25 minutes. Whatever. Let's start this video, shall we? So
Let's do it.
I'll let you know. I have seen the first half of it, and that's what I was like. All right, we're gonna cover this for the first episode. So I've seen the first half of the video, and from social media and stuff, I know what the score they give at the end is, and I just find it really funny. Like with all the context of the discourse around the show, and because I don't even think most people thought the ending was great. Like yeah, Star Wars Theory, everybody's favorite Star Wars YouTuber. I don't think even he liked it, which he's usually pretty positive on the Disney
Yeah, he's
stuff,
usually pretty fond of on the. Well, he
which is
recently has
fine.
been talking about Disney, and he's made some good videos against Disney. I respect that now. But he he tends to like some of the. He didn't like Andor, or he doesn't really. No, yeah,
But yeah, I heard about the
he's a
Andor
good
thing.
reviewer.
But yeah, so just like using his name, I'm just meaning the general Star Wars audience. I don't think appreciated the finale too much. I think everybody liked the Anakin episode, which I didn't. But well, okay, I did, but I don't think it's very good. But that's besides the point. Uh, like most people thought that was really good and like impactful and stuff. But the finale, like I think the show died. Like the finale happened, and I don't think any like does anybody talk about the show anymore? If they do, they say, "Look,
So
Anakin had a red lightsaber." That's pretty much
it's
it.
Bad Batch now. Yeah,
Uh,
at the time of recording, Bad Batch is season 3 is working on getting done,
There's
but
like 3 episodes
that's
left
a
of
whole
that.
other conversation.
Are you watching that?
Bad Batch.
I haven't been watching
Yeah,
that.
I did the first season. I'm trying to work on the second season, and trying to watch the second season.
Oh
So,
no. Is there a drop in quality?
um, yeah, well, the story, and I've talked to some people about it. I think the fans are growing a little bit tired, and that's why they think they decided to end it in season 3. Um, but it has its moments. It's it's fun. It's Star Wars. It's like supposedly the last thing that George Lucas worked on, but that's a whole nother conversation, anyways.
I find that funny. It's not at all, but because the Bad Batch as characters were something that George Lucas had like influence on, technically like no, that doesn't even work. If you're making a show about Luke Skywalker, that would be it's like the same thing, because it's characters
I would
he
agree with that.
influenced.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. Regardless, we're gonna start this video because we're yapping
We
over
could
here,
go
as,
on
as
and
the
on.
kids say. We could go on and on. So here, I guess let's get into it. And we'll I guess let me know if you want me to pause. Like, just start talking and I'll pause it.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Because you can't. This is very scuffed. You can't pause it. It's fine. It'll get in future episodes if they happen. It will get better. I promise. All right, let's start this video.
This ever happened before.
I forgot about that.
Rick Famuyiwa has been the most consistently excellent director of live-action Star Wars
All right,
television.
hold on. I gotta look whoever that is.
Consistently
Okay.
excellent. What are your thoughts on that?
I gotta look up who that director is
Yeah.
for that episode. I'm just curious because they say it's a good Star Wars director. I just wonder what other Star Wars products they've worked on. Here he is. Let's look. Let's look at this IMDb.
Has he done any of the Mando stuff? Because the first season and the second season were good, and maybe that's what he's attributed to.
Looks like
Forgot about these
he
stormtroopers,
directed.
like zombie
Oh,
troopers.
he directed 8 episodes of Mando. Okay. Let me look at which ones it was.
Real quick, I'll just mention something about these stormtroopers. I forgot about these, and I think a lot of people like this concept. This is again where my thoughts are like the concepts are really they're fun, they're cool, and there was a book called Death Troopers. I remember seeing it on shelves and things. I was like, oh, that's a cool concept.
So
But
oh, sorry, I
the way it
don't
plays
mean to
out and
interrupt
stuff.
you.
Keep going. No, I was just filling the space with
So
some of my
Mandalorian
thoughts.
season 1, episode 2, was this guy. He directed that one. That's the Jawas and the. It's like is it Mudhorn? Is that what it was? I think that's that episode. Where he gets wrecked by the Jawas and that's like an egg. So
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I
that's in that
remember that.
episode.
Yeah.
So that one, and he did remember like the prison that they're trying to free a prisoner, then like they betray him or something. He's like robots. I don't remember that episode very well, but he directed that one.
Interesting that they name him consistently excellent. I would have to look him up more like what you're doing now, but
Yeah.
I think
That's
he's
just
fine.
interesting.
Yes.
I was looking at I wanted to find one in the season 3 that he'd done because then I could just be like, nah, I disagree. But I don't know. I should have looked into that before we did this because I remember I heard him say that because obviously I watched like the first half of this. I heard him say that and I was like, oh man, I gotta look him up. Oh, he directed Mando season 3 finale. Okay, so no, I disagree. No, what in the world? This is
But
the
I
guy
remember the
responsible
I remember the
for
finale.
Baby
Yeah.
Yoda running around while the Praetorian guards are trying to stab him. That's this guy. I disagree, man. Sorry.
Well, that could have also just been the writing and
Well, no, that's the.
how they wrote it,
Well,
right?
yeah, but he's saying the IGN's talking about the
He's the
action
writer?
direction. The action direction.
Oh, interesting.
I
Okay.
disagree. It's funny. No, a small point. We'll continue if we've done a lot of yapping. Let's just watch the video.
And he delivers another great episode in the season finale of Ahsoka. The Jedi, the Witch, and the Warlord delivers big moments in the arc.
Can I just say I hate that name? I hate how dare you use that name?
From the
Almost.
Lion Nigel's
Yeah,
wardrobe. Yeah,
I don't like that name. That's just
it's a reference. It definitely is one of
Dave
the
Filoni does
references
like
of
his
all time.
references,
Not
so
the best. Yeah, and you know, there's room for that in certain places, but we'll have to we have to keep watching this video because I really have a hard time remembering some of this
well,
stuff.
I think it's oh, I had a gosh dang it. All my memory loss moments are stacking up here. Oh yeah, there's a scene where David Tennant droid, I don't remember his name, says like a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, right? I'm pretty sure he says that. And it's just like stuff like that, and like naming your episodes like this. Like I don't know, the episode thing is minor, obviously, but like that really takes me out of like the like I'm not immersed in the universe anymore. When you say like a long time ago, like if a character says that out loud, like a long time ago in the galaxy far, far away, I'm like, come on, man. I'm pretty sure the episode was named like far, far away or something. Whatever. Let's just keep going. It's fine.
Of all of the series' characters, while building on well-telegraphed plots that will have major repercussions for the galaxy.
They will have major repercussions, and it's all Sabine's fault. What? Somehow they've returned.
To the
As Grand Admiral
yeah, it's a Rise of
Thrawn
Skywalker
pointed out
reference.
last week, Ahsoka Tano and her allies are running out of time. The whole finale feels the tension
Yeah, they are running out of time, and they spend like half the episode slowly flying on their ship towards Thrawn. Why did they do that?
Not the most exciting,
Well, in
but you
episode
know,
7, I'm pretty
what?
sure they're doing that too. They're like escorting those little aliens around. Like, what are you doing? Stop! What's going on?
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. And like, doesn't Thrawn like slowly send out like things to attack them, but they
Yeah,
just fail?
I I don't know. His plan is so confusing. Like, what do you like?
Oh, and the
I
whole
meant to
reason he's still
mention.
there is because he's waiting to his like starship to be fixed or something, or
I gotta be honest, I
yeah.
don't remember why he's still there. But oh, maybe it's like the coordinates or something. I don't know. Something I meant to mention earlier, I forgot about it, I guess. But Ezra's just like chilling on the planet, like 2 feet away from the Star Destroyer. Like, Thrawn, you're not gonna take him out, or like, you're not.
They're best buddies.
No,
They're friends.
what's very strange. I think that would have been interesting if it's just Thrawn and Ezra hanging around, and maybe I don't. You know, you do there's so much potential
Wait,
with
do we
that.
know how long they've been exiled for? Like,
Let
that
me
could
look
be
it
like a
up.
whole. That could make a whole new show. Oh, there we go. Uh, Ezra, a Star Wars story with Thrawn as a cameo. You know,
What?
be like just chilling on the planet.
This
That could
cannot
be.
be real.
Did you did you Google how long they were on the
No
planet?
way this is real. Alright, I'm looking. Oh, this is a better source.
They're there for like. I mean, they were kind of far away
A
from.
decade?
There was not a. Oh,
What? It's been a decade and Ezra's like exactly the same. That's funny. I did not know. You don't get like passage of time in this show is so weird. I would never have known that without looking that up.
I was just about to agree. Yeah.
Like, that's so odd. Okay, well now I know that. I'll have to factor that in the next time we rewatch the show, which will be never.
of their race to stop Thrawn from escaping his exile. Mickelson
Oh, this
continues
is
to
the
do a
scene.
fantastic job with his methodical and cool delivery, conveying his
He's definitely trying. Like I wanted to like him. Like he's a pretty good voice actor.
Yeah.
He does look like
Yeah, I think
blue Elon Musk though.
he definitely tries. Oh, that's true. The blue Elon Musk here. But in a lot of ways, it just you can try as an actor, but it's all about the writing and it's all about the way they want to take your character, and that's why I like Henry Cavill as an actor because he actually like he'll make comments to the director and he actually will like leave like for example like The Witcher where it's not
Yeah.
going in the right direction. He'll make that decision. I think actors should take that stance more. Now, obviously, they're not going to be like, I don't like this. They're on the
Yeah.
movie set for a reason.
They
They're
gotta be
going to
careful.
follow along. So you got to be careful. Yeah, for sure. But I do respect. I respect it when actors point stuff out or make decisions.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I was gonna mention
There's
Adam,
good examples and bad examples of
I was,
that though
yeah, I was
too.
gonna say, I think Adam Driver, I don't remember which movie it was, but some interviewer asked him a question. It was like talking about the CGI being bad, and he just like, I think something, I don't know, F you or something. Like that was his response to him. It's just, he does not care. So like these people, I like when they don't like change their response to like appeal to everybody, you know? Like they should be critical of things when it's pertinent. But anyways, let's get back into it.
Growing concern only with a tight clench of his jaw and the calculating command to send more of his forces to their
Calculating.
death.
Dispatch to the Night King.
That's true. He does waste his forces pretty effectively in the
Before
show.
The Great Mothers.
Just pausing. I don't want to get
Slowly
copyright
sends stuff.
strike. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's time.
As he notes, a single Jedi is responsible for his current predicament. He has the truly terrifying villain quality of never underestimating what the heroes are.
oh no,
Isn't
Ezra.
that what he does? Never underestimating his... What do you mean, bro? You let Ezra just chill for like a decade? That makes it worse. I didn't know it was a decade. You let Ezra just chill on this planet with you for 10 years, and you never
Let's
underestimate
put this
them?
let's put this in like terms. Let's put this in like real words. Okay, so Ron is chilling on this planet for 10 years straight, and Ezra is probably like in the show. You can probably see they're maybe like a couple of miles out from each other. Well, that doesn't really even matter because
Generous.
Thrawn has an entire star destroyer like flying around on the planet. You could assume maybe like Ezra's hiding and like going from place to place.
That's the
Even then,
thing. Thrawn
how does
has to
that
have a
work?
good idea of where he is, because he sends Sabine to wherever the heck she goes. Like he has to know the general area where she is.
Maybe they're just friends. Maybe Ezra and
I
Thrawn
mean,
gotten together. You know, they're like,
yeah, I'm countering the point. IGN's point of he's never underestimating people. It's like you've underestimated Ezra by just letting him chill for 10 years. Like, what if he's like some like Jedi Grandmaster like with the Force now? Like, you messed up, bud. Should have taken him out when he was like little apprentice guy. Whatever. It's just funny.
Capable of. The episode still takes time for quieter moments of growth and reconciliation. Amarnis Fundi really captures the humor and swagger that Taylor Gray brought to Ezra Bridger in Star Wars Rebels.
I'll agree. He does a pretty good job.
yeah,
The only thing I'd bring up is I don't think he should be the same person anymore. It's been 10 years. I was arguing this. I thought it was like 2 or 3 years. I was arguing this then. 10 years, there's no way he's like the same chipper upbeat. Like, maybe he is, but you could do something with that. Like, I don't know. It's just the wasted potential. Like, this is a character that like, if he was like completely different from Rebels to now, I'd understand it. It's like, because we know like what he did, why he did it, and we can like infer what he's been doing here. It's not like Luke where he's just
I
go
was gonna
away
say, yeah,
evil.
Luke would be an example of like the character change. That would be kind of a negative version of that.
Well, the reason I think I think you can get there. I don't know if it's of course a lot of work. I wouldn't do it in the single movie, especially. But the context we have for why he did that, it's just not sufficient. I would say for the change we see with Ezra. I think I would argue you can do a lot of interesting stuff to change him from who he was to whoever he is now. But nope, he's just the same guy, and he doesn't care that Sabine basically is letting Thrawn get out of jail free. But whatever, it's fine. It's fine.
As he bickers with Hu Yang about lightsaber construction. It's a humorous conversation that quickly turns tender as Ezra sees the opportunity to learn something about his beloved lost master, and Sabine Wren tries to find a way to reconcile with hers.
How old are you?
Old enough to know that the relationship
Okay, I'm just gonna pause. He said like learning something about Kanan, right? I'm pretty sure in the episode, I could be wrong, so this is off my memory. I'm pretty sure when the scene happened, he just like mentions Kanan. They're like, hey, Kanan. Like it's there for the purpose of remember Kanan from Rebels. If you watch Rebels, you'll hear Kanan and be like, that's Kanan. I remember him because he's like building a replica of his lightsaber or something. So I just I think that's funny. Like talking the way the reviewer's trying to phrase it as like some deep moment. It's like nah, they they just mentioned it. Like, he got name dropped, pretty much.
Get there in there, yeah. And again, as a person that hasn't watched Rebels, that's fine
Yeah.
and it's cool. I guess it makes sense because you know you're talking about lightsabers and things, but it just has no impact on me whatsoever. Now I guess maybe I watched some videos of Rebels, but that might be on the bucket list at some point to watch.
I haven't seen it in forever, but like seasons 1 and 2 are like fine. Like they're not. There's not much to like. There's some to like. There's some to be like, what? But it's. Imagine like the most filler Clone Wars arc ever, and then that's the entire show, except for like the maybe first episode in the finale. So that's pretty much Rebels. So if you like that, then and then I think it's season 4 that has the World Between Worlds, and I hate that, but that's another. I don't want to get into that because that's gonna be a whole thing. And season 3 has Bendu, the best Star Wars character. I think it's season 3. So yeah, ups and downs in that show.
Master and an apprentice is as challenging as it is meaningful.
Ahsoka's forgiveness comes quickly,
nothing.
but it doesn't feel arbitrary or rushed. Rather, it's a natural progression of the growth Ahsoka experienced.
No. Ahsoka should be furious that Sabine attempted this. No. The whole reason that evil faction's able to get here is because she didn't. She could have like fought Balin. Did she have a gun on Balin? I think, but instead she's like, nah, okay, here. No, she had a gun on the thing that lets him get the coordinates. So she could have destroyed that. The map, the what's the term?
Yeah.
Oh, my brain isn't remembering the term.
Yeah, again,
It's the,
Sabine.
it's the map from The Force
She's a
Awakens.
really
What
rough
is that?
character.
A MacGuffin. That's what it is. Sorry, just plot device element thing. So yeah, Star Wars loves maps, by the way. Force Awakens, this show, I think something else did it. I can't even. Did Mando have a map? I don't remember. If
And
Mando had a
well,
map.
yeah, you had the little tracking fobs.
Hey, the tracking fobs. It's got like a map.
Can't forget those little tracking fobs.
We'll do a Mando episode at some point. I'll be rewatching that. I actually wouldn't mind rewatching the first season.
Yeah,
when confronting her
that wouldn't
fears
bad.
in the world between worlds.
I didn't expect to see you so soon.
Both sides of the conflict have to
Yes.
make tough decisions in the season finale. While Hu Yang does get Ahsoka's shuttle working just in time to rescue her and Sabine, Tennant sells the heartbreaking delivery as he tells her not to wait for him.
You've kept her in the sky longer than I've been alive.
Do not wait for me.
Likewise, Sabine
I think I liked his delivery more than hers. Like he's a robot, and she's just like also a robot, pretty much. Like I was at least there was some sort of emotion there, like the delay between him saying it and everything. Like there's something there, but yeah, with Ahsoka, it kind of even if it was like a stellar, great like delivery, I'm drawn out of it by Ahsoka's just being the most like lackluster thing ever. But whatever.
Yeah.
Sabine finally learns the lesson about how a master and student should always stick together. A lesson that Hu Yang's been trying to hammer home all season, leaving behind the brother she's fought so hard to save in order to fight at Ahsoka's side.
And you will die here.
It's funny because they're framed it as like a character choice, but she couldn't have gotten to where Ezra was anyway, right? Don't they establish the jump is too far at that point?
Yeah.
It's just funny.
Yeah,
Now
were
that
they
you can't
talking
do
about the
a.
idea, like she jumped to go with him or whatever? Is that what they were talking about? I assume.
Well, I just find it funny that they're praising how Sabine goes back instead of going with Ezra, but it's like she couldn't have made the jump.
Yeah.
She couldn't go anyway.
Yeah.
Which
that's
I
true.
don't buy that she's able to force push Ezra up there anyway, but that's besides the point. Whatever. That's a different topic.
The force jump is wild.
Alone.
What is her name?
Not alone.
Witch lady.
And what a fight it is.
Where'd she come from?
Just spawned in, you know?
Spawned in.
I feel like a lot of people do that in movies nowadays.
Just spawning in with these action scenes. Like all the stormtroopers. The stormtroopers supposed to just seen her there, but like, yeah, we're meant to be having our guns on Ahsoka, so we're not gonna.
I think. You think that was an error within like I think they were on set and they were just like they just had her like you stand here and then we'll just shoot. Like it was like a post problem or they realized. I mean, I guess they didn't realize it because they
I'm
put it in
trying-
there. But like,
I'm
would it have
trying
been
to
a
remember
post-problem or,
where
like,
are they?
they were-
Is this at the
when they were
top of the?
acting-
Is this at like the top
think,
of
like,
that
when-
hill?
when they were acting, they were just like, all right, so you're gonna just slowly walk up, and none of us are gonna watch you walk up closer to us. Like, I'm just confused how that kind of works, you know?
I just don't think they cared at all. Like, Dave Filoni cared about telling his original story. I don't think he cared about it making sense in any way at all. He just wanted he wanted this payoff. But I'm trying to understand where they were. This is like the top of that mountain where the Thrawn first meets the.
Yeah, this is
Evil people.
that castle tower.
Isn't that
this
also
mysterious-
where they jumped to the Star Destroyer? Is it
Yep,
not the
yeah,
same
yeah,
place?
same place.
How does all of that happen? We could be wrong. Haven't seen the show in a minute, but I think I remember while watching it, I was like, what? what's happening? What's going on? It's confusing.
They get there somehow. Don't worry. The plot progresses, but
The
it's
for it was
very
the Force. It was the Force.
yeah. Probably they force jumped all the way up there. So it means a pretty powerful Force user. You know, she can survive a lightning stab or a lightsaber stab.
Yeah, yeah,
Probably could
yeah.
lightning. Could
Probably,
survive
yeah.
lightning too,
The lightning would
honestly.
be nothing. Are you kidding me? That'd be
Nothing.
nothing. She'd be fine. She'd wake up the next morning and be absolutely fine.
Star
Should
Wars
be
Tales of the
too.
Jedi showed Anakin training Ahsoka to take on squads of clone troopers, a lesson that helped her survive Order 66. She uses those skills along with
Did you see that show, by the way? Tales of the
Um,
Jedi? Did you watch that?
I did. I watched a few, but I didn't watch the Ahsoka one. Yeah, I just like selected random ones. I don't know why I didn't watch all of them. It's just
I heard the plot of one of them was like Ahsoka is a baby. Like, that was the plot of one of them.
I think that was the one I skipped.
I also heard
I
there
was
was
just like,
like,
I like Ahsoka as a Jedi, like fighting in the Clone Wars, but as a child, I don't know how much I'm
yeah.
attached to that.
I heard there were Dooku episodes where he's like a good guy, like he's back when he's in the Order. I think that's
I
like
did
potentially
watch that
interesting.
one.
But
Yeah,
yeah, I didn't. I
that
never
was
got
more
around to watching
interesting.
it.
other lessons from General Skywalker well as she coordinates the attacks of Ezra and Sabine. I'd called the use
Yeah,
of
they're on the
Night
same
Sister necromancy
platform!
weeks ago.
Power,
Uh,
Wait, go back to that. Is there any way that do they like? I think they like rise up from the floor, if I
well,
remember correctly, or
like they're fighting in the middle, right? And they were just on the
they like
edge, like
climb
right
up.
here, and none of the stormtroopers bothered like stopping them from jumping on the Star Destroyer, I guess.
Guess not.
So imagine me Ezra here just like watching. Like I just find it funny. Like I think they have a reaction shot with him right here, right? And it's like it's been a minute since Sabine jumped in to do that. Like what were you doing the whole time? Like that's relatively minor, but I just think it's funny that like there's no like continuity at all. Like after this certain amount of time this happened, what would he be doing? Would he be like getting ready to switch to a stormtrooper costume as we see him do, or I don't know. It's just interesting to think about. Also, this is a bit
Yeah.
random, but are the stormtroopers dead before they become zombies, or are they like alive? I don't.
Which came first, the dead or the zombie?
Well, because like the stormtroopers all die and then they're like revived as zombies, but it's like, so are all the stormtroopers on the ship alive or are they zombies?
Wait, that's actually okay. I see your point now, and
There could be an actual answer.
you know they're
I was thinking,
mysterious. They're magical things.
just imagine like Ezra kills one of them and then like revives. It's like what what is going on? And if he eventually gets the armor and there's just like a zombie running around, like
I,
is he wearing like zombie armor? Like is he gonna get infected? I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
I think they're like, you know, if a zombie gets shot or hit, like it'll like stumble down and get like knocked out or something. It's just like an endurance level, or maybe it was they were alive and they're just being like magic being used to keep them alive. They've been alive for a long time now,
Mm.
and like once they die, they just like
No,
the
there
magic
are
revives
definitely
them or
possible
something.
explanations. I just thought it was humorous.
Yeah, they're cool. I kind of like their concept. Again, the ideas were there, and there was cool concepts, and I agree
Yeah,
with the
it's all in the
community in the
execution.
most part that they're cool, but the execution was just like these are just mindless like battle droids essentially, and they do nothing to
Well,
stop.
they were
Like
all useless
I don't
and
know.
mindless except for I think it was two Death Troopers. They were like super OP. I guess those guys were
Yes,
good, and they were
they
already
had
zombies. They had like skeleton faces, I think.
they had parts to play. See, they had it in the script that said like go do this,
Wait, they were just
and
there. It's like what? Oh, okay. I guess they had the script. That's how they were there.
yep.
Regardless, let's get back into this amazing video by IGN.
Ezra and Sabine. I'd called the use of Night Sister necromancy weeks ago, but the drama of the moment still works, evoking scenes of the risen armies of the Night King in Game of Thrones, as the fallen Night Troopers twist and
Yeah, there's both undead. That okay. Yeah, I guess it's the same thing.
Guess they must have liked the Game of Thrones
Yep.
scene. They were
Yeah, yeah.
enthralled with this.
I think that's back from when the show was not terrible. Anyway.
taught back into action. The elite soldier with the hanging, rotting jaw is a particularly creepy touch.
So it must be. They must be zombies. They're rotten jaw.
Imbued with
Well, no, yeah, that's what I was saying. The Death Troopers, I'm pretty sure, just
Yeah.
have like zombie like faces, which maybe I don't. If you're a zombie for long enough, you get promoted to a Death Trooper. That's what happens. It's canon.
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, what's this lady's name? It's like Elsbeth.
I'm gonna look it up
Morgan
now.
Elsbeth. I remembered it.
Morgan.
I think
Okay.
some of her, I think Ahsoka looks pretty terrible every single fight scene, but some of her like moves and like swings with her weird Night Sister sword, I thought the choreography was okay for her. When
Yeah.
we were talking about Anakin, I was like, I think Anakin looked good. I think she had some okay choreography. That's what I was trying to remember,
Yeah,
but
I'd
I
agree with
remembered it.
that.
I remembered it.
I guess while we're on that, we can talk about like the effects and things. I think the effects for these shows look fine. They're not too bad. And they're a Star Wars budgeted movie, so they're gonna be somewhat decent.
Yeah, they have an
Hopefully.
enormous budget, so it's gonna look
So
pretty good.
it's
I mean,
gonna cover it pretty well.
you read the CGI when Ahsoka's like falling down the ramp or whatever. Remember that? That's pretty good.
A little bit. That was that.
It's like
I,
she's like flipping over. I don't remember. It's been a minute since I've seen it, but I just remember laughing at that. It was funny. I think that was the main thing. I was like, ooh, that looked bad. Most of it looked pretty
green
good.
screen.
Night Sister magic and a relic blade last seen in Star Wars The Clone Wars, Morgan Elsbeth gets her rematch against Ahsoka and
Oh my
again
goodness.
shows off the fluid fighting style.
That sword, it was in the Clone Wars. It was in the Clone Wars. Remember this sword?
I know that sword.
I know
that
it.
made her episode a highlight of The Mandalorian. The
There's always
destruction
things
of
that
one
can
of
combat
Ahsoka's
Oh, look how
lightsabers makes
bad
it
that
very
looks.
clear that without Sabine
Look at Sabine's action scene here.
made her episode a highlight of The Mandalorian. The destruction of one of Ahsoka's lightsabers makes it very clear
Baseball
that without
bats.
Sabine's timely assistance, this fight likely would have gone the other way. When Ahsoka
Why did she
encourages
stand still
Sabine
after
to
she
help
lost
Ezra
her?
push the door open, it's
Yeah.
unclear if
No,
Sabine's
stop
actually
showing the
doing
scene.
no.
Okay, this looks bad too. Oh, stop.
The confidence her master had in the
Stop.
idea that she could trust in the Force seems to have
Look, how are they not dead? Sorry, it's so bad.
Who knows? It's
Dude,
such
it
a
looks so
rough
awkward
spot.
too. They're all like holding their hands out. Like that green screen's not working for me. It's like it's so badly composed. It's awful. Oh, that scene was bad.
This is probably this and Sabine getting stabbed are probably like the epitome of where it goes wrong for me. 'Cause it
Yeah,
just
that's
shows
a
the
lot of plot armor.
lack of care for like the real like in-depth story. It's just like I want it to look cool and I want my characters to live kind of.
Yeah,
It, it,
I don't have them. Have them
how-
try to sneak in. Don't do this. Don't do this.
finally
There's,
unlocked
yeah, there was a
Sabine's
lot of
full
sneaking
potential.
in Star Wars, when Obi-Wan goes into the Death Star originally, we
We're in
sneaking happens, you
stormtrooper
don't have
armor.
to,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I don't know.
Didn't they kill a bunch of stormtroopers? Friggin' wear some stormtrooper armor. Do something with that. I don't know.
They were probably gross armor, like zombie armor.
Sure. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. No, none of the main characters would ever wear that armor.
Ezra
I don't know
remains
if Ahsoka's
skeptical.
head
Ezra!
would fit
Follow
like
up to his initial reaction of asking why Ahsoka would train Sabine before.
You don't think that helmet would fit on her head?
I was gonna say, yeah, Ahsoka's head might not quite fit the helmet shape, but
That's so mean.
that, I mean, I don't know how that would work.
Oh, remember bald
Oh gosh,
Ahsoka?
I was gonna say that just reminded me of bald Ahsoka.
No.
What happened there? Maybe that's the third. We could add that to the 3 main points of like what this show is just.
Yeah, I think that's what took me out. I mean, I was laughing when that happened, but that wasn't.
I just remember like watching the show, and I'm not super like looking at different details and things on certain like the textures or like costumes. But all of a sudden you see that scene, you're just like, something's off here. Like something is
I just went
weird.
blind. I just the shine.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, what's
So
happening?
peculiar.
It's like put it back on, put it back. That's why she has it on her head. Put it back. Oh no.
Remains skeptical, a follow-up to his initial reaction of asking why Ahsoka would train Sabine before quickly backtracking, but in the end is willing to literally put his
He's convinced in like 2 seconds that I'll trust Sabine with my life here, even though she's never used the Force before. Actually, no, she just pulled the lightsaber barely, so I'll trust her.
Look how high up they are.
He's
They're
dead, bro. He
very
missed the jump. He's gone. Like, sorry. Look at this. Look where he is. He's falling
life
already,
in
right?
her hands. Their
he
verbal
does.
sparring during
How?
the fighting draws on the
How does
female-
she push there and he goes up? I don't understand. Like, it's not like she did like a grab and then moving him up, you know? She just pushed. How does? I don't understand
It's
how it
true.
works.
Physics there kind of.
It's fine. It's the Force.
Maybe it was like maybe she was acting and they didn't really tell her where to
No,
do
that's
it.
probably what it was.
They're all
'cause-
around. Yeah, they're all around green screens and things, and actors don't often see. Or
Well,
get
it's the
to know
volume,
what
isn't it?
to expect.
It's the volume they use for most of these
Was it?
shows.
Okay.
It's for Andor. I think Andor didn't use it, and I think the Acolyte isn't using it. But all the other ones use the volume.
Interesting. Yeah. Huh.
dynamic established with the characters in Rebels in a way that feels natural, even with new actors.
This is, you know what it was? We were talking about how back on the platform, there's no way that they didn't see him. The volume, like, when that fight scene with Ahsoka and Morgan, Elsbeth, and Sabine, that was the limit of their stage, right? That's probably why they
Yeah.
didn't even think about them being right
Why
next
the
to them. It's
stormtroopers
because they're off the
couldn't
stage.
see
Yeah,
Sabine.
because that nothing exists past there, because that's just the stage. I bet that's what it was. Since they were in the volume,
Interesting.
they
Yeah,
didn't
so it's
consider it.
limit like the actors'
Because
ability to
the
see.
set where they were, or at least the screens they had it on for the jump scene, that's like a separate like screen, so like
Yeah,
nothing carries
they just
over.
meshed it
That's
together.
interesting. That's an interesting thing
It's an
about it. That's
interesting
probably what
thought.
it
Yeah.
was.
actors.
Nice moves.
She's been training.
What's your excuse?
Star Wars is a series that has always been
Stop.
okay with ending on a big loss for the heroes, so it's not
All right. Star Wars is a series that's always been okay with ending on a big loss for the heroes. Revenge of the Sith,
Guess
right?
Yeah, Revenge of the Sith,
Empire?
and then Empire, and then the
You know, you Phantom
Last
Menace.
Jedi. That's kind of like consistency. I would agree with that point. I mean, they do
With
some big
Qui-Gon.
losses for the heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's a fair point.
so
I don't think it does anything for this
that's cool.
episode, but that's a fair point.
surprising that
Yeah.
Thrawn gets away to execute his grand plan of raising a zombie army on Dathomir. But there are
Such a dumb this plan. It's like,
Wait, is that actually his plan?
yeah, he's
thought he
going to
was gonna
Dathomir. That's
go-
why he has all the caskets. He's going to Dathomir so he can resurrect zombies. Yeah.
Actually, I don't know what I thought he was gonna go. Did they? I don't know if they made that clear in the show or not.
They don't. They show you zombie
Interesting.
things that he's loading. Oh, that's what he's doing! He's loading the zombie things onto his ship. That's what he's. That's why he hasn't left yet. I remember.
Imagine, imagine like you're a mastermind villain. You've been hiding away for 10 years now. You're living with, you're chill with your the guy that brought you into exile, and you're just hanging out with him. And then all of a sudden, your enemies show up in your planet, and they decide, actually, I want to leave this place. I forget like what. Oh wait, no, that's right. The witch lady brings the item for him to leave. So
I was confused
he
about
is
that. I
able to
guess
escape.
she's the one who brought them, but but wait, what? Like the Night Sisters are already on that planet. It's so confusing. It's such. Oh, what did I mean to mention before? Oh yeah, you were talking about, or we were talking about how Thrawn knows where Ezra is, right? And it's like
Yeah.
a couple miles from where the ship is, on top of that like weird fortress thing, right? But I was thinking about it, I'm like, he flies in from somewhere else. That means that like he was somewhere far away and he still knew where Ezra was. So he has to know, like, it's got to be pretty accurate, like his knowledge of where Ezra is, and he has to have known. He doesn't like just figure it out when he tells Sabine, "Hey, go here." He's
I
known
think he
for a
was
while.
keeping Ezra alive to like for bait or something, or like
I don't know.
not explained.
To be honest, it'd be in character for this Thrawn to forget that Ezra was there. He probably just forgot. Oh, there's a Jedi
mean,
here. All according
yeah,
to my plan.
it's all
And
going
somebody's
on
like,
plan,
that
yeah.
wasn't
All
your
according to plan.
plan. That wasn't your plan. You're lying, Thrawn. What a show. What a show.
There are also seeds of hope with Ezra's sweet reunion with his surrogate mum, Hera Syndulla, after pulling off the most classic of Star Wars ruses and dressing up as a night trooper.
Absolute
oh no,
classic.
Shoot him! Kill him! Shoot him!
That was my thoughts. It's like, because they're all like, they're just chilling. Like, nobody's got a blaster out or anything, right?
Yeah.
He's wearing, see a guy in stormtrooper
Well, and
armor. And these
it's
people, do
not
these
cut
people
like that.
know who Ezra is? Or like, he looks like a completely different person. He has beard and all this stuff going on. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think these people would like, oh, let's put our guns down. Like, it's a stormtrooper. A guy in
Yeah.
stormtrooper armor showed up in an Imperial whatever. It's a
The
masterpiece.
reactions from, and it's not cut like that because he walks down the platform with the helmet on, walks up to them, and then takes his helmet off. Because you don't. I'll be honest, as in the audience, I didn't even know it was exact. Like I assumed it was Ezra, like based on what we'd seen. But I was like, is this?
If
like
if
Thrawn?
he'd taken off the helmet and been Thrawn, that would have been like within. Okay, that could actually happen. If it had been Ahsoka who took the helmet off, right, and we have no explanation of how she got off the planet, I'd be like, Disney Star Wars, like that. That makes sense. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
I've been mourning the death of Ray Stevenson all season, but it
Rest in peace.
especially stings in the finale, where it's clear Baylan Skoll was just getting started with his grand plan to break the cycle of conflict between light and dark side by tapping into the powers of the gods of Mortis.
Oh, is that in the show?
Yeah, I believe so. He was a cool character, and it's like this is the kind of character I wish I would see in like the sequels or something, not like copy paste from like the original
did,
trilogy.
You're eating Kylo Ren?
Does that? But again, copy paste of like Vader, like that's what Kylo Ren's
No,
character
Vader was
kinda is.
competent and did.
Oh,
He wasn't.
if you count that, yeah.
Well,
But
another thing, more I think about
the
it,
more I
like
think about it, there's so many. It's such a wide canvas for a possibility in the sequels, but we're gonna completely copy original
well,
stuff.
Kylo
Anyways, what were you
Ren.
gonna say?
I was gonna say, Vader. I was gonna be like, wow, Kylo Ren's like Vader, but with like more, like he doesn't know whether he's on the light side or the dark side. But it's like that's also what Vader was. So they're pretty similar,
Yeah.
I guess, except for one's orbit and then one's like a crybaby who. I don't want to think about the sequels right now. We're gonna keep going.
Both the monumental sculptures he's standing in front of and Ahsoka's encounter with Morai, the owl-like creature tied to the daughter, hint at the cosmic
Oh, this guy knows his stuff. Or I don't even know what he's talking about.
Done his research.
I know at the Mortis arc. I know like there's like the father and the son and like,
You can
the
tell
daughter.
IGN really likes Rebels.
Oh, that's Clone Wars, buddy, but it's fine.
Oh, is it?
You
Well,
remember
he's
the like
talking about
the
yeah,
Mortis
he's
guys?
talking about yes. Okay, yes,
Yeah.
but
I don't remember much about it, but I
you
remember
tell
they
like
exist.
the in-depth explanations.
This guy knows his stuff.
struggle yet to come. Whatever Dave Filoni had planned, it will surely be weaker without Stevenson's gravitas. The appearance of Anakin smiling and watching over his former apprentice delivers one last
Hey, Anakin, why didn't you bother like advising him in any way before now? Also, Anakin, it's been established that we can shoot lightning as Force Ghost. Why didn't you shoot lightning at Thrawn or something like that? Anakin, what are you doing, bro? Get an answer? It's more problems
Who knows?
from the sequels and everything else.
He doesn't appear like in the sequels at all, too. Like this is the first time we see
Yeah,
Anakin
his
since
voice
he's
appears
Vader.
in Rise of Skywalker.
Well, we don't see him. He doesn't.
We don't have to.
It's true, we do hear him. I forgot about that.
You're like
That's
everybody.
a
I'm pretty sure Ahsoka talks, and yeah, that's something that
yeah.
happened. Ahsoka talks, everybody's like, "Oh, is she dead?" And Dave Filoni's like, "Don't worry, she's not dead. Of course not."
Wait, I didn't know that. That is weird.
She's still alive by the time Rise of Skywalker happens. She's like 80 years old.
big burst of emotion for the season. It's a beautiful moment that crystallizes the pathos Filoni built between him and Ahsoka.
No. No. Sorry. I don't. Dave Filoni's whole point with the show is that you don't have to watch all these other things to understand it, but like I said, if you're somebody who hasn't seen Rebels or Clone Wars and you're watching the end of this, you're just kind of like, oh, I guess they said that they were master and apprentice, so they're looking at each other now. I don't think it works. Also, because like I said, where were you the whole time, bud? I guess him appearing as a Force Ghost here means that he was the one who was in the World Between Worlds, but then why did you like Vader and like try to kill Ahsoka in the World Between Worlds? I don't understand. Did
Yeah,
he
it's all very
truly live or
mysterious.
die?
Within the context of the show, I think this is fine. But like outside of it, look at like the broader sense of Star Wars, it just doesn't. It would have been cool to see this in sequels, or you know, if they had started at this place rather than start with hating the sequels, or started with hating the prequels, but now they're like returning to the prequels. It's just it's a messy situation right now. But
doing this damages Anakin's character even more in like Force Awakens and the rest of the sequels. It's like Kylo Ren's doing all these evil things, like friggin' meditating to Vader's helmet. It's like, Anakin, bud, you gonna talk to your... Is he his nephew? What is he?
Anakin left the chat. He's not there anymore.
Wait, no, he's his grandfather. Is his grandson? That's what he is. I know my
Yeah.
Star Wars. But like, you're not gonna bother trying to talk to him, man? Come on. Talk about it. Whatever. Anakin, he's the loser.
Over so many seasons of television as she embarks on the next step in her journey with her own student.
Here we go.
It's the verdict.
Disney Plus's Ahsoka comes to an excellent conclusion in The Jedi, the Witch, and the Warlord, with quite
Stop showing that name, bro. It makes me mad every time.
emotional scenes paired with complex fights from
Oh,
the
remember
director.
her? I remember her.
Wait, what? She was in that show? What? It
Her character
was
was
like a fever dream.
standing around with Balin while Balin monologued, pretty much. And
Balin and
also
her are
fighting
probably
Sabine and not killing her.
Balin
I
and
was
her
still
are probably
interested
the
in
best
her
part of
character,
the
though.
show.
Yeah. Interesting, but I don't think they did anything with them.
The season
Well,
finale
I also like
manages to
Anakin.
complete
Anakin's-
satisfying arcs for
Oh
all its
my
characters.
goodness.
Oh, I should have had you guess beforehand. Oh, we can still do it. Hold on, Eli.
You,
What do you
you got
think?
this full
What do you
for
think they'll give him out of 10? What do you
Out
think
of
we give
10. Wow.
out of 10? What do you think? What do you think?
So remember how I said it was like a 5 out of 10 for me at the
Yeah.
beginning, and then it just really went down, and then I realized that I originally gave it a 2 out of 10 when I first watched the show, and they give it a 9 out of 10. Wow.
Jedi, the Witch,
You
and
know,
the
go to
they
the
are
Warlord,
Warlord.
with
entitled to
quite
their own
emotional
opinion,
scenes.
They are,
and
and that's fine.
if you really enjoy just kind of general Star Wars stuff, nothing like if you like your characters to survive, you like your characters to just um do
Fold their
random things that don't
arms
really have a lot of meaning.
and not talk or talk about nothing.
If you like Clone Wars references, which I do, then you'll be happy with the show. But and I guess also Rebels references. Then
I
sure, it's your
guess.
show. It's your show. Then it's live action Rebels. But there's just so many problems that are that take you out of the moment of the show
There's a
when
lot of
that
that.
shouldn't be.
Yeah, I think a
Yeah,
9 is
that-
high. That
that's pretty
even if
amazing.
you like this show, like I think a 9 is super high. I wonder what their problems
Yeah,
were with the episode. I don't think they listed anything that was problematic. Interesting.
I don't think they listed a single thing that was problematic.
Why not just give it a
If they
10?
did,
Cowards.
it wasn't much. Kylo Ren? Is that a Kylo Ren quote?
Cowards.
Coward.
Let's wrap this up.
my
Manages to
goodness.
complete satisfying
Yeah.
arcs
It's like, oh, it's
for all its
amazing.
characters while still setting up a big cliffhanger. For more videos like this one, and just in case you missed it,
Oh.
make sure to check out our video
Yeah, well, watch IGN if you love this video. Sorry, I just seeing or was it the court? Yeah, this just reminded me of that whole interaction. It's how bad that was.
Does C-3PO appear? And he's
Yeah, he
like,
cameos.
actually,
Yeah, he's like, actually, no, you can't prosecute
you're
Hera
safe.
for being a
Yeah.
horrible person and getting people killed. You can't do that. They do not mention those X-wing pilots that just get murdered. They do not care.
I,
Dang.
I
Hold on,
think I
let's go
forgot.
good.
Oh man, people get murdered. Uh, Yeah, well, it's Star Wars. I think that a lot of it happens in Star Wars where there's like off-screen deaths and things, or
Well,
like
she was
random pilots get
responsible for
brought up
those
and
people,
much
so
more.
I don't think it's
She is,
as
yeah.
comparable. Here we go. Let's use this for the
That is
image as
true.
we continue talking about things before we wrap up.
Sounds good. What was your original out of 10?
I think I
Original
said
score?
a 2 or 3, probably closer to a
Yeah.
2 after
I think I gave
deconstructing
it
it
a
a
2
little
as
bit
well.
more. I don't think
Yeah.
it's as bad as
And
like what Mando season 3. Like at least this show tried. Like there were definitely like they tried to have some character stuff with Sabine and Ahsoka's relationship, and they absolutely like butchered it with Ezra. Like they there was so much potential there and they just did nothing. But like this show at least tried to do stuff. Like Mando season 3 is the most like what like while watching that you're just like what happened to this? And
yeah, I think there's like a major burnout with that show where people really like the first and second, and the directors were all like, yeah, and writers were like, yeah, and then they tried to put it together, and it was basically like it just got discarded as like something they could make without thinking.
yeah,
And
it was
that's not
like
to say
how
I mean,
lazy can we be? how
that's
fast
not
we
to say
throw
that there
this.
were some hardworking people in it, and
Oh,
you
for
know
sure. That's
it
anything
does
though.
take a lot of work to do these, but that doesn't excuse you from doing bad or not putting effort into certain aspects of film, you know.
Yeah, Mando season 3 is truly special. That's we got to cover that at some point. I know at least while it was coming out when I was talking to you, Eli, you were mentioning how you didn't really like the Dr. Pershing episode. Well, I think that was the best episode of the season. But
That's the whole subplot, right?
yeah,
Jeez. Yeah, me and some other people were talking about that subplot, and that subplot is the weirdest thing I think
I
I've
agree, it was
ever
weird. I
seen
was like,
in a
what? Oh, we're
in a
doing.
show.
We mentioned Dr. Pershing and he's now the main character for this. Oh, okay, cool. It was just confusing. But as the episode went on, there was like, oh, there's some interesting stuff here. This guy's like, obviously he's been in the Republic, right? Or excuse me, he was with the Empire, and now he's got like, there's a reform program for Imperial. I just think that's pretty interesting. There's some cool stuff they did with that,
No,
and
but it was a completely different show at that point. Like,
well, we did
what
that
was
with Boba
going on?
Fett. We did Mando episodes for two of those.
So strange.
But no, I do
I guess
agree.
the
It definitely, like, I think a lot of people's problems with it was just, oh, where's Mando? But like, that wasn't my problem. My problem was, why are we doing that? We're already doing nothing with Mando in this season. Where is like, we got to keep going, man. We gotta get something out of this. Come on, what are we doing with Dr. Pershing? Like,
yeah,
if that was just like, if they randomly released like Dr. Pershing special episode and that came out, I think I'd be way more positive to it. But as it is, it's just like, what is this like random like Diet Andor thing doing in doing in Mando season 3?
yeah. It was weird. It was it's definitely different, and I agree. It was kind of similar to Andor in a lot of ways. So it had some potential, but just thrown in there. So again, that's another whole other topic to talk about
Yeah, yeah.
some other point. But for now, I think we can wrap it up and just conclude. Well, again, disclaimer: we haven't watched the show in a while, but I think that also proves that um, there's some points about it that you should be able to remember some things better than what we have been able to.
Yeah, I don't think there's a single line I can quote like verbatim, like from this show. I don't think there's anything I remember, except I think Balin's. I missed the idea of it when he's talking about the Jedi. I think that's the only. That's a fragment. I don't remember the whole
Oh yeah,
line,
he had
but
some
I
good
remember.
monologues.
Yeah, I remember that line. I was like, oh, that's interesting. But yeah, it's a very not exactly the most memorable show in the world. So this podcast, I guess this concludes the first episode. We plan on doing more of these. I'm not sure when that will be yet, but we'll definitely we'll
Yes.
iron out a schedule at some point. Perhaps
Yeah,
the layout will probably be less scuffed.
and hopefully we'll get better at speaking because,
True,
as
we
you've
we did
noticed,
ramble a little bit.
we do tend to yap a good bit. But I hope our opinions are, somewhat agreeable to a certain extent. And if you liked Ahsoka, then you are
That
allowed. You're
is
allowed to have that
fine.
opinion. There's some parts of it that are good, and you just gotta think about it
We'll
when it
talk
comes
about
down
what
to
we
it
think
all.
the quality is and the problems with it. We'll highlight all those. But at the end of the day, if it's something you like, that's totally fine. We're not telling you not to like it. We're telling you why we didn't like it.
Exactly, exactly.
I'm
Okay.
horrible at wrapping things up, so I'll just say bye, everybody.
Yeah, same here. See ya.